Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever the case may be. Welcome to my stream. I'm Zero One. Today is odd. It's first of all, it's the middle of the morning for me, and middle of the afternoon for some of you, and it's a Saturday. Both of things are not usual for my streams. So today we're here more or less to do some stress testing on Beam again. And why not do that with something that's weird? And so what we're going to do is hop into Minecraft and try to build something that I wanted to build for our shared server, Spring's server, the server I share with Spring, and see if we can do what I wanted to do originally right, or at least successfully to some extent in our nice new, brand new world. So we're going to hop right on in. Going to be a brand new world entirely if my mouse will cooperate with me. There we are. And so we're just going to create a brand new world. Let's call it over engineering. Hyphen engineering, because that's over engineering the whole world. Word. Difficulty is going to be peaceful because we don't care about mobs. Let's see. World type. We're going to make this a flat world if we can. Classic flat. Ooh. I don't know anything about flat worlds, really. No structures. We don't need a bonus chest because we're in creative mode. And we don't really need any of that. Experiments. Nah. All right, let's create it. All right. First and foremost, I'm going to grab a chest. We're going to put some items in that chest that we're going to be using over and over and over again. And so rather than having to go back into the creative menu again and again and again, we're just going to grab them and toss them into that chest. Make things easier. And ironically, we're putting the chest in there. I think our primary building block is going to be obsidian. I like working with obsidian for some strange reason. What else do we need? Minecart. Furnace, including a blast furnace. All right, so the idea originally was to build an auto-smelter in which there was the blast furnace, the smoker, and regular furnace. So things that go in the blast furnace would automatically get sorted and go to the blast furnace for more efficient melting. Same with cooking. Things that would go to the smoker would go there for more efficient cooking. And anything else would default to falling into the furnace. But I kept running out of space and kept getting bigger and bigger, and unwieldy, period. That's just the gist of it. And I expect the same to be true here, but I still am interested in doing this if I can. So first things first, let's get a source chest sitting in midair. Oops. Did I not grab that? Did. Just didn't put it in the bar. Now, I also need a dropper. I didn't get a dropper or soul sand, so dropper. I need a bucket of water. And at least a sign. And may as well use some packed ice as well. These things will be here in a minute. All right, so this is going to be our source chest. I guess off to the side here. And I did put the chest back, duh. Come here. That's going to be our destination chest. Now, some of this is going to be very odd and oddly engineered because hoppers don't work if they're too close to redstone. So that is a potential problem. And what I'm thinking at the moment is to give each one of these a lot of space. Actually, no. This side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Why 15? Why not? Let me come over a couple. So basically this will be a 13 furnace item, or order, whatever. Furnace. Put the hoppers back in there. And let's start with the blast furnace. All right, I shouldn't have put the hoppers away. I knew that. Because I need them for the backside. Oops, wrong thing. As well as the top. Guess I'd actually need to go further out. And just for those who don't know me, I am not much of a Minecraft player in reality. I played hardcore series, a lot of them. I play Minecraft on a semi-regular basis, but I'm really nothing special. I just kind of like building things like this and experimenting. See what I can learn, see what I can do. All right, so the reasoning behind this is we have the hoppers on back to feed in coal or charcoal or any other flammable material that can be used to power the smelters, the furnaces. And items will be dropped in through the hoppers on top to actually be cooked and smelted and melted, etc. When the items are complete, they drop down into these hoppers and go about their business, and ultimately would make it back over here to those hoppers in that chest. So I'm just going to go ahead and build this on over here. And just as a test, we're going to drop that in there, and it should make its way through all of those hoppers and over to that chest. I may have missed it because it's usually kind of quick. Or it may be broken somewhere, which is also a possibility. Yep, there it is. And so we're going to have similar setups at each of the two other locations. But before we get that far, we have to build some train tracks. And I'm also making these a little more complicated than necessary, in that I want this to be circular, with the idea that hopefully it'll be more efficient. Hopefully. I think I actually need to go another couple blocks out here. Oops. All right. What do I want? Powered rail. I'm also going to do some general experimenting because I'm not sure how everything's going to work. So these designs will probably change quite a bit while we're working on them. Redstone torch. Goes down there. One experiment I need to do is to find out if I can just have powered rail carts or powered rails all along the themes there. And I'm not sure about that. I'll be finding out. Oh, no. There. We'll test this first. That's going to kill my rail, I think. Or rather, the hopper flow. But we can adjust things. All right. Let's grab a bunch of coal. What am I doing? What am I even doing? Put that in there. And let's get this thing moving. Coal does seem to be getting distributed. Excellent. What that means is basically I can keep the power rails going all the way down like that. Make sure it never actually stops, which is good. Eh. Let's do another test real quick. Just to see if our, which I expect to be the case, see if the redstone torches actually are interfering with the hoppers. Yep. See, it's building up here because of the redstone hoppers being there, or rather torches being there. I take that away, and now it's flowing over to here where it's stopping. And now it's flowing again to this one. All right, so what I actually need to do is build this out another couple spots. That is literally just the same thing. See if we can keep it there. And same down here. Did not mean to do that. Thank you very much. Get that back. Sure, everything's powered up there. Looks powered up. Are we collecting here? Nope, we're flowing. 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 Perfect. Excellent. All right. And I need to go grab the chest again because we're going to take this to another level of complexity. How complex, you may ask? Well, the answer is not simple. Because we're going to have to feed the coal carriers, as well as the material carriers. May as well do 2 instead of just 1. And to differentiate the 2 ends, just slightly at least. All right, so what we're going to have here, lovely minecart like this, going to go around the top, collect items from this chest to disperse among the smokers, or rather blast furnace. But this basic design is going to be the same for the smoker and regular furnace as well. We can have those running in opposite directions, it doesn't really matter. And just to show you what this is going to look like, hopefully this will work right. Well, it's sort of working, but not quite as well as I want it. It should be distributing all of the materials, the iron ore, evenly, but they're mainly getting compacted into these 4 blast furnaces. But in general, that's the idea. So far, this is all pretty straightforward and standard design for your average blast furnace, or auto-smelter, or super smelter, whatever they want to call it. It gets more complicated and interesting when we start factoring in other ones. So, once again, let's go get our hopper back. We will need the chest, but we don't need it right now. Grab a smoker. So as not to interfere with the, or not to let the redstone interfere with it, we'll start over here. A little to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey. That was 5? Yeah. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. One more for luck. Try to figure things out for a moment. I'm doing this kind of the opposite direction from the other one. All right. Let's get our smokers in place. We had one too many over there. mean, the easy way to do this would be to just have a separate one, separate feed for each of these each of these. So you just drop food into the smoker one, raw ore and things into the blast furnace, whatever else into the regular furnace. That would be easy. And in fact, good part of me says, hey, why am I even bothering to do this? Just do it the easy way. But I don't like doing things the easy way sometimes. Okay, so we have, what, 3, then 4? All right. I said there, thank you. And so right now, all you're seeing is the actual smelter aspect of this, which isn't a bad thing. This is the simple part, though. Because what I'm going to have is an additional rail that feeds the coal to each one of these setups. Yep, wrong spot. And that is where things will get kind of interesting. If I can get my hands back on the keyboard in the right spot, that would be great. There. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and add the last one for the regular smoker. Now, it doesn't matter that we are feeding into the output of those smokers, because it's just going along the bottom anyway. So really doesn't make any difference. And we don't need another one here. but just to keep things even. And our regular furnace. Why did I grab the chest? I don't know. Because I'm a silly bean. That is, of course, why I'm doing any of this. Could be napping. I could be watching a movie. But I'm choosing to do something silly. Because I can. Because I am. Something feels off. But no matter. Wrong way. Thank you. Whoops. Yeah, I built this one out too far. One block too far. But it doesn't really matter. Because I screwed up slightly. It's a screw up, but it wasn't a screw up, you know? All right. So we have our 3 different platforms. We get all the rail cars moving, you know, for maximum noise. That is an issue, although fortunately it's not affecting that one, or that one, or that one. Interesting. Basically, rails are out for some reason. Maybe just a little too long on these. Or this one. Fortunately, the cars are not affected, and they are continuing on their merry little way. Which is good. That's what I need. That's what I want. Alright. So, here's where things are going to get a little more complicated. We are going to feed coal into each one of these chests, which means we need to have additional railways. I only did one over here. Let's change that. I was worried for a second that I made them so that this chest was in the wrong spot in each place, or furnace, but I didn't. So a little relief there. And we're more or less going to do the same thing that we did already. You don't have to do this with regular rails, but I figure may as well. Or rather, with powered rails, you can do this mostly with regular rails, but since I'm in creative mode, it doesn't really make any difference, and we don't have to worry about the mine cars running out of juice by doing it this way. Of course, that also depends on if they're going to cooperate here. Nope. Probably don't need to do the double torches that I was doing. I just feel, hey, why not? Make sure there's enough power there. All right, so we put in yet another minecart. And this one will be busy seeding all the coal into those chests. So, where do we get the coal from? That's going to be some of the fun part. Along with the fun part for each one of the ores or foods. I didn't put that there, so we'll get that on real quick. Get myself a platform real quick. This is where the auto sorter comes in place. And this is going to be the biggest pain in the butt. The hardest part of this whole concept. But before I go any further, let me make sure that we have things flowing properly through the output here. Okay, good. We're seeing them there. And there. And so they're ending it back here. Perfect. All right. So the hard part, like I said, is dealing with the auto sorter, or creating an auto sorter to properly send, send ores here, food there, and everything else over there. So what you need for an auto sorter are repeaters, comparators, redstone dust, quartz crystals. Technically you do, but some item to work as a filter, which I hadn't created yet. And you'll need an anvil. It becomes a whole thing. All right, let's set up our work area there. And we don't need that anymore. We'll probably still need rails. Maybe. Definitely need the redstone torches. Don't need the furnace anymore. We'll need a dropper. Don't need that right now. We will need the soul sand and water. And bring that on in. I need that, so keep it handy. All right. Now, the trick for this is you would need this hidden somewhere. But since this is an experiment and this is a video for it, we're just going to do this right out in the open. I have no idea how many sorters we're going to need, or sorter stations we're going to need, so we're just going to make a long little thing like that for now. We can always add more to it. Torches on one side. Repeaters on the other. We conceal the repeaters. And then you cover the torches. Because there's more. And on top here, we put our comparators. I'll be frank with you, I don't know, honestly, how all this works or how it makes sense. I just know how to do it. I copied it from other people, and I know how to troubleshoot it a little bit, but I don't know the logic of it. Mainly because I haven't figured comparators out properly yet. All right. Next step is we're going to need a lot of hoppers. So let me bring those back into the mix. I guess I can put that in the back seat. I don't need the redstone right now. Main reason for this row is you need some place to stand. while adding the hoppers that point into the comparators. Like so. So you get the little bit pointing towards the comparator like that. You gotta do that for each one. And you're going to need some hoppers above those, but for now we'll leave it. Because we got to do something else. We got to create filters. You have to put some filters here to more or less help everything work. So you got to put a certain number of items that you want to be grabbed by each sorter cell in the first position here. And then you have to have filters filling up the rest so that nothing else will get lodged in there. And so we got to create those. I prefer to use glass panes like this for my filters. And you take those over to your anvil and you change the name to something else so that it won't be easily utilized or accidentally utilized or accidentally match anything else. You just, well, not 16. You only need one. So, like that. I just have a habit of using the wrong mouse button. Obviously, it's easiest to do this in creative mode, but it can be done in survival mode as well. You just have to build all the components necessary. And comparators, droppers, and redstone repeaters, I think all require nether quartz, which means you have to go to the nether, which can be quite a pain. Now, the reason I didn't do this before, or didn't do this on the server, was because of all the complexity here that we're about to get into. Let me put a few things away for the moment, because I don't need them right now. And even the chest. All right, so first thing you want to do is, well, start feeding these items in here, or putting items in here, so that they will get properly sorted. The first things we want are coal and charcoal, because we know we're gonna need them to go to that rear mine car back there. So I'm gonna give myself 41 charcoal and 41 coal as soon as I can find them. It's easiest to just grab a stack of each. And just toss the extra. We just put that coal there. Put that charcoal there. And what we can do from that point, well, I guess for the moment, we'll just have it go to a chest. Drag that back out again. But ultimately, what we'll end up doing is having multiple lanes go to different locations so that the coal ultimately will go all the way back there, and we'll lift it up, put it in a chest, and this mine car will just grab it. And that's how that'll work. And then it'll pass it on over to the coal carts in each one of these spots, and done. But we also need to carve out lanes for everything else. Heck, we need to carve out a lane, or a little bit here, for getting items even up to these sorters, these hoppers. And so let's go ahead and get that done. We'll extend this if we have to later. And if you're gonna try to do or handle every kind of block that can be smelted, cooked, or burned, I suppose, you really gotta do a lot more than what I'm doing here. All right. Fun time. I always screw this up at least once when building these, so expect that today. I do need that comparator back. And I need the redstone torches. Okay, perfect. You could probably do this an easier way, but that's how I learned how to do and make a dropper, so that's what I go with. And I guess I'll put a packed ice there. Ah. Just to make sure it gets in here. Because we're going to block that off so that we don't have water flowing everywhere. Ordinarily, you'd probably want to get some space in here. To make sure that the water flows in one direction. But really, we only needed to get over to this first hopper. And then anything that doesn't match the first sorter item or sorter cell will go to the next, and then the next, and the next, and so on, all on down the line. So that's what that looks like. And so, even though I discarded my coal earlier, we'll grab a little more. And we also have to feed the dropper. Which I didn't think about when I built it above ground. So this may actually cause me some problems with congestion when I'm start dealing with the outputs there. Okay, so we toss the coal in. They're getting stuck. It's probably getting stuck. Yep, right there. Congestion problem. All right, let's grab all the coal. Or is it? All right, it is getting congested. Or getting congestion problems there. Why is that facing that direction? Mistakes happen. And so what you're hearing is the coal getting shot out of the dropper up here into the water and then down here. And as you can see, this number keeps going back and forth between 41 and 42. That's the coal matching this setup here and then getting fed down or dropped down through the hopper below it and into this chest. Although we do seem to be missing a few. There's one there, one there. I've noticed that happen, and I don't have any real explanation for it. It's like the hoppers just don't want to let go until another element comes through. But even then, that's only 2. We were missing 5, so I imagine they got missorted. Or maybe they fed into me? Nope. Ah, there they are. And that's why you have to have all of these items filled up. Or, if you don't have enough items to completely fill up your little sorter, you can make what I call blanks. They basically do the same sort of job as filters, except they sit there and are temporary placeholders. And so what you can do is what I do is, again, take some wool, in this case, very specific item, and just change the name, call them blanks, You're going to need a lot of them because you need 41 for each particular position. Hey, Angel, how's it going? I hope Destruction Day isn't too destructive. And so we pull these out of here. And we just sit those in there. That way, nothing will match with it, and it will prevent anything from falling into that particular route within the sorter. I'm not going to worry about that too much because, well, I'm probably going to fill up each one of these positions, which we're going to start doing now. Let's see. First, we want to put in iron, copper. Thank you very much. Will do. Hope you're having a good day. And let's see. There are a lot of other items that can actually be smelted. Like, I think you can actually take the iron blocks, like these iron ore blocks, as opposed to raw iron, and put them in there. And those, I think, will get smelted just like ordinary materials. Let's go test that real quick. Did it grab that? Ah, you're missing coal. And that should just produce raw iron, I think. Oh, iron ingot. All right, perfect. That works too. So that'll end up over there. Eventually. The problem with the hoppers is they are slow by comparison to other distribution systems. Yeah, see, we got iron ingot. That. And so that worked. That worked normally. That worked as expected. So you can actually put out all of the iron ores and various ore blocks in here as well. But we're going to skip that. So first, let's go ahead and put regular raw iron in here. Or raw copper, I guess. Since I don't know my ores from one another. Then we're going to put some food in here. We'll start with the beef. Let me just ditch these for space reasons. Pork chops. Chicken. Who doesn't like chicken? Get the cod. Of course, salmon. I didn't do enough cod. There we go. Don't think you can cook tropical fish or puffer fish. Let's see. I know you can do like diamond blocks as well. May as well do those since I still have ample space. May as well do those next, you know? catch is you have to direct each one of these to a separate output. Well, each one of the groups into a separate output. You don't want the fish going with the ores. You don't want the sand and things going with fish or chicken or other meats. So it can become kind of complicated. So it's best to group them together. And I'm not doing a fantastic job of that here. Like I said, there's lots more you can put in here. And then you can also add things like cobblestone. Cobblestone becomes regular stone when you smelt it. And I think if you smelt it twice, you end up with polished stone. I think. Let's do an experiment. Let me grab stone, 1 block. Come over here to the regular furnace. Yep. Something does happen to it, at least. We'll find out in a moment when it arrives here. Smooth stone, that's what it is. So, I think I'm going to stop filling this in for the moment. Because I've kind of demonstrated the point of the design. We'll go ahead and put the regular stone in here. Just so we can say, hey, this thing has regular stone too. And we'll fill the rest in with our blanks, which I'm going to need to make more of. Okay, what's going on here? There. Blanks, blanks, yeah. Oh, blank and blanks. I see what I did there. Blanks, blank. Let's go fix that. I could just destroy the rest of these, but meh. All right, how many more do I need? 2, 3, 4, 5. About 200 total. Another stack. I didn't click a spot for them to be in. All right. Stick with what's easier. That's the job here. That is the job. All right. So whatever doesn't actually get used here, doesn't make its way into the sorters, or through the sorters, doesn't have a filter for it, needs to go somewhere, so we're just going to dump it into the output. Yeah. Or bad. Died due to a redstone torch. All right, so basically, if it's not in the appropriate sorter area, it's going to just make its way all the way through here, down here, and snake its way back over to the output chest. But again, most of this would be hidden ideally, so you wouldn't see most of this, especially the sorter. You would do it underground and then use lifts like this to carry the items up to the level of the sorter, or perhaps build the sorter directly under the input chest. It's up to you how you do it and where you do it, but that's generally what you would do. Get rid of it some way, somehow. All right, so as far as non-food items are concerned, they stop here for the moment. We'll put that there to market. And then food items again, till there. So we'll mark it with that. And then the others will go off to the regular furnace. Because I don't think you can put stone into a blast furnace. I think it will just sit there. Yeah. So it'll just sit there and clog up the system, which is not something we want. But what we do want is for these items, these, what, 5 items? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to go over to the blast furnace. And so what we will do for the moment, again, is just build a chest as a destination for it. And then we will figure out all of the logistics of getting it over there. Similarly, we'll do the same with the food. So, chest for the moment. And then the last couple items we have are just the stone and the cobblestone. And again, for the moment, chest. I'm making a mess of this. Ignore me. All right. And just a test. I'm going to go dump these things in there. Make sure they get to their respective spots. Yep, got diamond blocks there. Food piling in there. Oh yeah, that's right, our smooth stone from our experiment. As you can see, the food is piling in right now, along with the other blocks, and passing through the chain of hoppers. Although we didn't get all of our diamond ore. The deep slate diamond ore didn't get in there. And neither did the other food. Things seem to have gotten clogged up here. Might be the proximity to the redstone torches, although I don't recall seeing that as a problem. But in any case, yeah. So they made it. It's just the proximity to the redstone torches. Again, because of proximity. So that makes sense, even though it's irritating. Irritating for this video, at least. All right, so the next goal here is to get the coal back here. And then each one of the outputs of those chests, or those particular hoppers, to each one of these smelter kits, cooker sets, whatever. So let's do it this way. Whoops, not what I intended to do. Do what I want, not what I think, not what I tell you to do. Trying to decide whether it'll make any difference if we do double like that. It won't. It won't make any difference. None at all, because I'd have to go up another level to make a kind of nested hopper deal, and that's not going to be worth it. Now, the catch is, with each one of the double hoppers for the coal, you'd actually have to fill it up entirely to really make it efficient. Which means an awful lot of coal. For my sakes, that really doesn't matter. I'm going to see if this works. Oh, good. It did. And what I'm going to do ultimately is just dump all that coal into the system here, and it'll get dispersed over there. In fact, may as well go ahead and short circuit that. We're going to start getting it here. Bad thing is, this poor little rail car is never going to carry enough at one time to really load up and fill up all of the chests for each one of those. So it's going to take a long time for it to get enough coal to properly fill these up. Unless I try doing something that I saw in another build. Let's try that. Wait for all that coal to get in there first. what I saw was different. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I have no clue, to be honest. I might have to change the design of this. Stop that. Okay, fine. We'll just do that. Stop you. And I know I'm doing this wrong right off the bat, but may not make any difference. Okay, let me get that comparator. I think this is how it worked. Let me grab a regular rail. Break that connection there. No, that's not what I wanted you to do. Thank you. Powered rail. Really? Just gonna mess with me, huh? Now, if I did this right, and I probably didn't, probably will have to adjust this more. The powered rail will only enable, yeah, didn't do that right, if the chest is empty. And this is where I have some problems. I don't know if I'll be able to do this the way I want it to. Because this may interfere with the rail below, which is why I like to experiment with things, to learn, to find out what's going to work and what's not. Okay, let's take a quick break and go take a look at the working example. Ignore my mess. It's a disaster. An absolute disaster. Okay, I need a repeater. Comparator there. Might be able to make this work. Might. All right, let's go on back over. Up, repeater was here. It's a little something like this. But the problem is I'd have to have the chest here. Because what that was feeding into was a hopper there. Let's see what we can do about this. Okay, we'll... Maybe if we did it on the other side? Maybe? Because what it was designed to do is to make the hopper minecart, stop if there was anything in it. I kind of want the opposite. I want it to keep going if there's anything in it in the chest. Or rather, not in the chest. And this is where I have problems. I'm not that good with rails. I know there's the detector, which we could use like that. But I'm absolutely terrible at getting this set up. Go away. We don't need you right now. Besides, we have plenty more coal. There's our hopper minecart. This is something that I've kind of struggled with for weeks recently. I'll show you an example. Where is it? Where is it? Note block. Where's the stupid glowstone box when you need it? Or is that not the right block? Ah. I'm having one of those days. Don't mind me. Redstone lamp. That's what I needed. Not glowstone. So, with the detector rail, if it detects that the minecart has anything in it, it'll turn that on. Otherwise, it'll turn it off. That. But what I needed to do is to not move when it's empty. But I also want to see if I can make the same thing sort of happen with a chest. I don't think you can. I don't think it works like that. No, I already had the comparator handy. Well, it is lighting it up a bit. But thing is, I need kind of the opposite behavior. If there's anything in there, I don't want that to turn on at all. And that's part of the struggle. I need the opposite, the exact opposite. And that seems to have the same exact effect, one way or the other. There's something in there, it's powering it on. Ah, didn't mean to do that. Even turning on the subtraction mode, it doesn't seem to work the way I want it to. What if I feed it into another comparator? This starts getting into logic and logic theory, which I don't completely understand. Not the way I wanted that. I don't think that's working the way I want it to. What if I turn that? This way. Nope, wrong way. This way. Hmm. I mean, it is lighting it up, but that's still not what I want. I want it to be off as long as there's something in there. Where's that lamp? There it is. This just is not working the way I need it to, or want it to. And that's kind of the problem with redstone. If you don't really understand it, you're gonna end up not having what you want. Particularly with the comparators and the whatchamacallits. Repeaters. Repeaters are somewhat simple. Yep. Basically, from what I understand of the comparators, if there's a input coming in from the right and an input coming in from the left, it'll power on this if the right one is greater than the left one. If there's nothing, if they're equal, I think it'll do it as well. I think, but I'm not getting that sort of result, you know? Yeah. What I need is to flip the logic. And that's what I'm struggling with here. I don't know how to flip the logic here. Next question, I guess, is can I put a chest on a pressure plate? I don't think I can, but I'm going to try. Yeah, it just floats above it, but does it have any effect? That is the question. My guess would be no. If I stand on it, sure. But no. Okay, let's try observer. Hang on. I don't really know much about observers either. So this will be fascinating. Can it observe a hopper? No. Just to be sure. It flashed on there because I put the hopper there, or the chest there. But doing anything with the chest, it doesn't care. Let's try it a different direction. Have to go down a layer, I think. Yeah, doesn't care. Brr. Interesting. So, I guess what I have to do is just settle for my very inefficient method of filling up the minecart here. which is not going to fill it up very well at all. And it'll take forever to actually fill up the furnaces, because there is not even holding any, but I guess that's to be expected because I didn't put any coal in there. But it's only going to hold like 4 or 5 pieces of coal at any given moment. Two at that on that pass. It has 3 in it at the moment. So it's going to take forever to fill these up. So the only alternative is to kind of fill up those starting chests to begin with, and probably fill up the mine carts, and maybe even the furnaces to begin with. So you don't have to worry about whether there's enough coal in this system to actually do anything. So we'll give myself a ton more coal. We'll do it again. At some point over the next couple of weeks, I'll try to learn a lot more about comparators and figuring out how to turn things off as opposed to on with comparators. All right, but anyway, we'll get back to the overbuilding this. So what we're going to need to do here is go ahead and get the coal from down here up there. So once again, we're going to need to use a dropper. We don't need that anymore. Go back here, dropper. We're going to need our hoppers again. And we need our soul sand, wherever that's gotten to. Probably tossed it. Where'd our water go? Yeah, I need that. I don't need that. I put the water back in the chest. Or did I toss it? I probably tossed it. Tossed it. take this out a couple because I dumped the sign. I know I did that. Did that. Yeah, put that in the wrong spot. Really? Gonna be that kind of day, huh? There we go. There's another version of the dropper mechanism that I discovered recently. And in fact, I may have to do that. No, I won't. But I'm not going to do it because it requires sticky pistons and 2 observers. And it's kind of a pain, to be honest, but it's functional. But I'm more familiar with this build of a dropper system. All right. Testing. All right, so our coal will be delivered reliably down here. Uh-oh, why do we have filters in there? All right, which one of you lost your filters? You did, of course. Ah, that's why. When my little flood hit, it washed away some of my infrastructure. All right. Give me coal 41. All right, so when this operates correctly, coal dumped into the box will get fed down here correctly. And same with the charcoal. So we don't have to worry about that anymore, theoretically. Theoretically. And we just need to do the same sort of thing for everything else. So let's get busy with that. This is going to be the... Oh, wait, that's the feeder. This line is going to feed to the blast furnace. So and again, you would do this in a different style, a little more, well, cleaned up. A lot more cleaned up. Hide the sorting part, so you don't have to worry about it being visible. Come on, up there. And we're going to make a slight change here. to avoid the issues with the redstone torches down there. Debate, 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 figure, ponder, wonder. There, that should do it. Yeah. So anything that comes into these particular hoppers will get fed directly into the dropper, at least in theory. Of course, they're trying to make me look bad. I swear, I never have this kind of problem with the whole dropper system. Dropper and hoppers. Not like today. Why are you just sitting there? Ordinarily, there'd be chests going here, so in a normal sorter, and so it shouldn't matter that the torches are there. But today it's trying to make me look bad. Anyway, I won't worry about that too much because that's just the idea right now anyway. We just know what's supposed to happen. It's just not happening for some reason. I think we did do it on this side, I think. Right, didn't put the comparator in. No, it's not going to work. Just not going to work. All right, let's try the other version of this. Sticky piston. I think that can go there. Then we put the observers on top of it. Ah, come on. Why is everything fighting me today? Think that's how this works? I've only built a couple of these. I'm not really sure. And of course I broke something. I'm always breaking something. No, that can't go there. There. Oh well. Thus the problem of over-engineering anything and everything. There's always problems. I don't even know what those blocks were, where they were coming from. My blanks? I don't remember discarding those. All right, let's start over. All right, that's working. Theoretically. We really want to move that over. If we can. We may not be able to. Ah, come on. I can fly. I can fly! I am sort of winning. This This is a seriously over-engineered auto-smelter. Deliberately over-engineered. But this is kind of what I was trying to figure out for our server. And failed. All right. Sign. Do I have a sign here? No, I don't. I am indeed. I am indeed. All right. So, what will happen in theory if I could kindly get the items to move from this hopper on into the dropper is, well, we can show you. Now that it's no longer there, of course, now the dropper isn't working for some reason. Ah, I see. My torch is down here. And ta-da! They're being fed into the blast furnace. At least where they have coal, they are. To kind of help with the coal situation, what we can do is actually add additional mine cars. So let's go ahead and do that. The direction of the mine cars doesn't really matter, as long as we get them moving. Come on, move. I said move. This is actually a super flat. So there are no caves. I don't know why they're spawning, but they are. Okay, why do I only see one minecart now? What happened to your siblings? Come on. Switch that back. Okay, we're getting a little more coal distribution, but it's still not even. Wondering what happened to those. And let me come back over here and fix the diamond thingamajigger. Oh, the diamond ore one. That was deep slate diamond. This is regular diamond. Put our filters back in place. And a quick test. What we should see at some point, if all of these are properly fed with coal, which we know they are not, is these furnaces kick on again. Though it's possible it's on the far side, since that's where, or the direction of the thing. Or it's possible that they're, again, getting stuck here. Or lost in the Twilight Zone. Do they bypass it and come straight back over here? No. So, where are they? Well, when you build it right, it'll work. You're right, I don't. I need more. Lots more. All the hoppers. Alright, let's try to watch this again with something else. Where is everything going? Because I'm not hearing the ticking I should be hearing. And yet, I'm not seeing anything where it should be. Aha. Stuck there again because of redstone proximity. So, once again, the need for just building this out kind of quickly is kind of interfering with everything. Let's see, we saw 2 of the furnaces kick on. And I think that is weird that some items made it through here, but not everything. Okay, so we're seeing more of the furnaces kick on now. But again, same sort of situation where we don't have enough parts really to keep this going quickly and efficiently. It works, but It's not doing it as evenly as it should. And that's kind of why I gave up on it. But to give you the full tour spring since you're here, the idea is that you would drop whatever items that need to be smelted, cooked, whatever, including coal, directly into this chest. It would, or actually, that chest, even though it's in the wrong position. You are here. It would feed it up into an auto sorter that would divide out the charcoal and the coal and send it down this path, which in turn fills up or fills in this chest, which feeds that minecart, which in turn feeds the inner minecarts on each one of these tracks. Over here, we have a blast furnace. Here we have smokers, and here we have a standard furnace. So, ores, raw iron, raw copper, raw gold, diamond blocks, whether they're deep slate or regular, that sort of thing would all get fed in here. Raw food would get fed here, and anything else would pretty much get fed here. And the coal for each one of these would fill up all of the various furnaces. Then the auto sorter would send properly the food items to this group, the ore items over to that, over the blast furnace, and all others over here. And anything that didn't match one of the sorter items for this would just get dumped right back out to the output chest here. That's the idea. This is what I wanted to build on our server, but I gave up on it. And you can probably guess why. It's a nightmare, it's complex, and while it's a great idea, I can't think of a way to make it more efficient and functional. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I wanted to make this server a little more simple for everybody. Not for me, obviously, because this is way over-engineered and complex, but I wanted food to be cooked as quickly as possible with as little coal as possible. Thus, smokers. Metals and things to be smelted in the blast furnace, which does it better. Again, minimizing the use of coal and charcoal. And then anything else that just didn't fit one of those two, wouldn't work in one of those two properly, just comes over here to the regular furnace and gets cooked. That was the idea. The reality of it is that it's not working terribly great. What have you been doing with all the coal? A good portion of this would be hidden behind walls and underground and things like that. You might see the smokers and things, but all of these hoppers down here beneath would be underground. The sorter would be underground. The various lines out to the chest would be underground. Or at least hidden one way or another. But some things here just are a little more compact and compressed together than I intended them to be. And so they're not quite working the way I expected or needed them to. It's a lot of work, I have to admit that. But in theory, this would have been great. Come on, go the way I want you to. Hey, move. Oh, you would find the one spot that isn't working to put that on. Hey, a woofing puppy. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up since this is obviously not working as intended. Or ideally. So I'm not going to finish this, at least not today. What I need to do is go ahead and figure out how to get the comparators to work the way I want them to. And so I'm going to work on that probably offline in my own little private world like this. Maybe even here. I don't know. And see if I can get that whole logic thing working the way I need it to. I obviously failed with it, but I need it. I want it, and so I'm going to make it happen. Or at least try to. In the meantime, let's see. Is there anybody we can raid? On Twitch, that is. Anybody at all? Anybody that we know, that is. Nope. All right, so we'll just go ahead and call it a day right here. I hope you have a great day, and I will be back tomorrow with Baldur's Gate 3. Take care, have a great weekend, and see you next time. Bye.
I will be the last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. And I won't have your name to call. 'Cause I will be the last to fall.